In the previous video we completed our Scriver application page content. So in this video we're now going to build the company page. So let's go to RapidWeaver and add a new stacks page, and we'll call this company, and I will update the page folder instantly. So we'll customize this and say company. And what we want to do first of all is go to the stacks library and add our global header. Once again, this is so that the site styles and the site menu is applied to this page. We don't want to do this individually by dragging in these site styles again. As I mentioned previously, that will generate a new copy of the site styles and it won't have all of your settings applied. So ensure that you add your global header partial first. We can open this preview up inside of Safari. I'll close the old one down and you can see we have no content yet, but our menu has been updated. So we're ready to start adding our banner image here. So to do that, let's go to RapidWeaver, and at the very top we will add a 1-column foundation stack, and on here all we're going to do this time is set a background image, and I'm going to browse for that on the desktop. In the assets folder I have my company folder, and then I've got the banner there. And as always we're going to have no tiling and we're going to fill the entire background. Then what we're going to do is just add a lot of padding to the top and bottom. So I'm going to try with 12 rems to start with. Sorry, 12, not 120. So that will just pad out that content a little bit. Okay, so that's basically the banner done. The next thing we want to add is another 1-column foundation. And we had some company information in here. So I want a header, and then I want a paragraph of text. So we're going to go through this page fairly quickly because you should be getting the idea of how to lay out your content by now. So I'm not going to cover all of the settings that we're updating here. I'm just going to do a few of these just to speed things up. So as always we're going to align that to the center. We'll leave that as the default text. I might just add a paragraph break into there, and I think that will do it. What we had below there is a divider, so we'll drag and drop that one in there, and then we had another header below that, so I'm going to copy that one, and actually I think we're using H2 on each one of these, and I'm going to copy that paragraph of text, and we'll make this just one paragraph. And let's go and preview that actually first so we can see what we need to add. So there we can see we've got our banner, we've got our header text, some paragraph text, and the second header with the other paragraph. So if we look on the company page here, you'll see we've got a bit of padding here, and then we have this office gallery. So let's have a look at adding this next. So the stack we're going to use for that is the clearing gallery. So we can just search for gallery there and drag and drop that in. And here you can see you instantly get an image, you get a full and a thumbnail, and to add more images to the gallery you just click the plus button here. So we've got 6, so I'll go and add those all in there, and then we will browse for those images. So again I've got some predefined ones here. I don't have a specific thumbnail image, so all I'm going to do is use the same image for both the thumbnail and the full image. Now obviously again you would probably want to go and resize that to make sure it's the correct size, but for me I'm just using the full image just so it's nice and easy. So I'm going to go through and add all 6 of those now. Okay, and we can then select the clearing gallery. There are a few settings that you can update here, but what we'll do is go and preview how that works straight out of the box. So we'll scroll down, and there you can see we get the thumbnails. When we click on one of those, we get the full image, and you get your thumbnails listed below. You can click on these, or you can use the arrow navigation, like so. And you can close that out there. Okay, so what we want to do is update this header text, add some padding, and ensure that we then have that Our Team Needs You section at the bottom. So I'm just going to copy this header, go back to RapidWeaver, and paste that in. Then I'm going to add some padding to the top and bottom here, and we'll do our standard 5 rems. Go back and preview that. Okay, that's looking a bit better. The next one we need to do is This Is Where We Work. So actually on the live site we didn't have any paragraph text below, but we can leave that in for now. That's not hurting anyone. The next thing we need is a divider. So I'll pop that in there. Then we had another header. So I'll copy that one into there. And another paragraph. So we'll copy that as well. And then we had our team needs you as the header. Like so. Okay, then below that what we need is this apply now button that when clicked it opens up this nice modal. So let's have a look at adding that next. So in Foundation what that is actually called is a reveal. So reveal lightbox, if you search for that and drag and drop that in. This is the lightbox or the modal that you see come and animate down on top of the content. So the launcher content, what we want it to be is a button. You can add any type of stack, and when that is clicked it will open up the lightbox content. So as I say, what we were using was a button, so we'll just drag and drop that in. And the type we had was the primary. We had the alignment as center. I think we had a small button, and we said apply now. And as always we had rounded corners. Okay, then in the lightbox I think we had a header, some paragraph text, and then in a minute we will have a look at adding that form. But let's go back to Safari and check that is working. So we scroll to the bottom, we see we get the apply now button, and there we go. We get our content or our modal reveal lightbox automatically animated down on top of the content, and we can close that out like so. Okay, so let's just first have a look at customizing this reveal lightbox. The size we want, currently it's 80%. I think what I was using was a small one, so we'll set that. What we want is rounded corners to match the rest of our site. We'll go back and check that, and we'll open or apply now, and there we go. That's looking a little bit nicer. And then finally what we want is a form. So in Foundation you'll see that you have the form stacks. You can build up a completely custom form using all of these. So I'm going to go through this quickly because we don't really have time to go through all of the custom settings and all of the form stacks. So I'm just going to show you how to build up a basic form, and then you can explore that further after this video is finished. So the first thing you need is a form base. So drag and drop that in below the paragraph. Then what we'll want is a label, and then an input box or a text input. So we'll drag and drop that in below the label, and for this field we are going to say name, like so, and we can update the placeholder as well, so name like that, and you can give it a name. So I would suggest, rather than leaving this as the default input one, give this a descriptive name of the field. Now this will be pretty straightforward for this one, it's just going to be name. And you can change the type. So for us we want a basic text. If you're going to ask for the email, you'll want to use the email one, which we can actually do now. If we copy this label and text input, the next one we actually wanted was email address. So we'll say email here, and again we'll update this to say email and email, and the type, as I say, we want to be an email. So this will ensure that they are entering a correct email address. Okay, finally we want another label, and then what I want is a text field. Or a text area, sorry. So drag and drop in the text area. Again, you can give this a placeholder. So we'll say message, and I'll say this is the message as well. So when you customize this, this is the name that will be used when the email is sent to you. So you can see what they've actually entered into each one of these boxes more easily. So we'll say message here as well, like so. And then finally what we need is a button. So we don't actually need to use a specific form stack for this. We can use the standard button that comes with Foundation. So we can drag and drop that in. And then first of all, I'm going to say not the alignment, I want a full width button. I'm going to say apply now, like so. And then what you need to do is set the type. So the type is a form submit, like so. And then we want rounded corners. And that's all we need to do. This button will now, as this type suggests, submit this form. Now, as I say, you're going to need to go through and ensure that these settings are updated, but as I said, we haven't got time to go through all of that now. It's pretty straightforward. Just ensure that you fill out these details correctly. All I'm doing is basically showing you how you can lay out that form inside of the reveal lightbox. Okay, I think the last thing I wanted to do was change the sizing. Let's set this to a small button, and we'll go back to Safari and preview that. And we'll click the apply now, and there you can see you get that form inside of the modal. So that just about does it for this page's content. What we might want to do is remove the bottom margin off of there, and I think I actually had on the reveal lightbox a slightly larger or wider lightbox. So let's go and set that to medium and preview that, and we'll click the apply, and there we see we get the width is slightly larger. Okay, so that is how you can add any type of content inside of a modal pop-up, or as Foundation calls it, a reveal lightbox. So finally, for this page, all we need to add was that global footer. So go to your partials, and all we need to search for is the footer. Scroll to the bottom of our content here and drag and drop that in. Okay, let's go and preview that, make sure it's working. And there we can see we have our global footer applied. So we've got our 3 pages all done now. That page was very simple. There wasn't much to it. We might want to adjust the margin and padding. We can have a look at that in a follow-up lesson after this one. All I want to do finally in this lesson is change the sizing of this navigation bar, because if you'll see on the live site, it's a little bit higher and the text is slightly bigger. So to do that, let's go back to RapidWeaver. We'll need to go and edit our global header partial and select the top bar here. And then what we'll want to do is go to the top bar setup and use some custom sizing. So for me, I've got a few of these predefined already. So I know I want 55 as the height, and I'll leave the padding like this, but I'm going to set the font size to be 1 rem on all devices, or for the text and the title. And I'm going to set fixed padding to be 15 pixels. Sorry, we don't actually need to update that. We can leave that. That's if you're using a fixed navigation. Okay, so let's go and preview that. And you'll see the height updates and the text is slightly larger, and that is matching the live site navigation bar at the top there, as you can see. Okay, so I think that will just about do it for this lesson. We've very quickly built up the company page. Now I purposely ensured that the last page we were building was simple so that we could quickly run through all of the little pieces that we've learned of how to set up a banner, a main content area with a title and text, and then I just wanted to show you the different gallery stack that you could use and how to add a reveal lightbox. Okay, so in the next lesson what we'll do is tidy up a few issues and use the site style stack to adjust some of the font sizing, background images and colors and things like that, so that you can really customize how the site looks and make it fit in with your branding. Okay, so once you're ready, as always, I'll see you in the next video.